Hello everyone and welcome back to the Velocity channel, where this is your bridge to financial freedom. Today we're going to go ahead and get rid of a $40,000, I don't care what you call it, car loan, student loan, any loan at $40,000 at 12%. We're going to be getting rid of it very fast, very quickly, with not gargantuan amounts of money. We're only going to be getting rid of it with $500, okay? So stick with me. Before we get into that, like, share, and subscribe so that everyone around the world can know the power of Velocity Banking. Are you ready? Well, so am I. $40,000 at 12%. Now, remember, when you're dealing with Velocity Banking, it doesn't matter if it's 12%, 13%, 31%. We're not going to be paying this doing Velocity Banking. So you might as well go ahead and X out any interest rate that you have. We're not paying that interest rate. There's a lot of people right now, oh, what if the mortgage rates go up? This, that, and the other. Every Velocity banker I know is like, we don't care what the mortgage does, because they are not going to be in control of our finances. Now, $782 each and every month. Of course, we are factoring in that interest rate that does make up a large part of that minimum monthly payment at the $40,000 mark. Now, you remember in our last video, we were talking about a certain number of car loan, amortization loan, whatever it is. Remember, when this goes down, that number goes down, so does the minimum monthly payment. We're going to be placing the same science behind what we're doing in Velocity Banking. Now, traditionally, the $782 gets split up, okay? That $782 is not going towards the principal payment. Did you know that? Man, that'd be nice if it was. No way. What's getting in the way is the interest, okay? And that's why we want to cancel that interest out as fast as possible. So here's what you're doing on the traditional banking method, the way the banks want you to pay it. $382 to the principal, while $400 to the interest. Now, wait a minute. 400 is greater than 382. I wonder why that is, okay? $386 going towards the principal. $396 goes towards interest. Now, you can see that with 386 and the 396, we have to admit that this number is going up, all right? While the interest, yes, that number is going down, but is it moving the way you want it to? Is it moving fast enough? And I would venture to say that the answer is no. So here we have on the third month, you're still paying $390 towards the principal, $392 towards the interest, and then lastly on the fourth month, it's $394 towards the principal. Then we have $388 towards interest. Now, that was how you got taught to pay it. Now, let's make sure that we are deploying our capital to the best efficiency and effective model as possible, all right? May I submit to you this, that if you have $500, and it does not matter if it's in a line of credit, in a checking account, in a savings account, if you've got that $500 to place towards a loan, okay, each and every month, may I suggest that you put that extra $500 towards this principal. Why are we going to do that? Because remember, the smaller the principal, the smaller the interest. Because the principal and the interest have a host parasite relationship. I don't know if you've ever seen National Geographic or Discovery Channel, how that there's hosts and there's parasites. The parasite cannot live without some sort of host, okay? But when you get rid of the host, you get rid of the parasite on that host. And that is what we want to do with Velocity Banking. So instead of placing that $500 towards the bank and you saying, hey, divvy it up however you want to, take control and say, no, I want the $500 to go towards the principal each and every month. What happens when you do that? Watch this. $882 goes towards the principal. $400 goes towards the interest. Now, as you can see on this side, we still have the $400 at the principal. But check out what happens next month. $891 towards the principal. That's more, okay? $391 towards the interest. Now, that's a difference of about $9, is it not? What happened, okay? Instead of the $4, right, in interest, because remember, the second month, that $4 went over here. Do you see that? The difference between 382 and 386, $4. What happened over here? Why did it jump to $9? Well, the reason why it jumped to $9 is because now we are hammering that principal, which, by the way, the interest is feeding off of. So when we hammer it away in such a fashion like we are, that $500 going towards the principal, well, that's less for the interest to chew on, and more goes towards the principal. That's why it's $9 difference between the first month and the second month. $9 decreased from where it was. Now this $9 is now being transferred to the principal. Okay, so that's where that gap of $9 went. And you can see that in the next month as well. Went down by $9. This one increased to $9. Watch this. This one went down by about $9, right? This one increased $9, all right? Now, the reason why that is because now you're allocating your finances differently. Now, what if, okay, this is a big what if. What if you had multiple loans and you did not know which loan to pay first? I mean, if you follow the people that are for the debt avalanche, they say, look at the interest, right? If you follow the people that are for the debt snowball, they're like, well, you know, psychologically, it's probably better for you to pay off those minimum monthly balances. So the one that has the minimum balance, let's go ahead and focus on that first for psychological effect. But may I submit this to you? Let's run it through the cash flow indicator. This was actually created by a rocket scientist so that you could know which loan is the cash flow sucking loan, and then you can grab that cash flow as quick as possible, perhaps put it into an investment, or you can use that cash flow to pay off other loans. Now, this is the formula for that cash flow index, okay? So let's make sure you can see here. CFI, cash flow index, is going to be the loan balance divided by minimum monthly payment, okay? So that's what it is, the loan balance divided by the minimum monthly payment. You'll make sure that you put yours through there, whether it's 40,000, whether it's 50,000, 70,000, divided by that minimum monthly payment. What you're going to get is a number, and it's going to be either 0 to 100, all right? And maybe, okay, it's going to go past 100. This is how you can tell if your loan is efficient or non-efficient, okay? Let's say your number was 42, okay? So 42, let's make sure we circle that, okay? Then we're going to draw the line graph here. Okay, remember, over here at the 0 side, it's going to be an inefficient loan. Do you understand? Inefficient loan. Now, over here on the right side is going to be the freedom zone. That's the most efficient loan. Now, with those, you actually have more mortgages on this side. That is the freedom loan because of what you're getting versus what you have to pay each and every month. But let's just say that you're at 42. 42 is what is in the danger zone, okay? So this is the danger zone, meaning it's a very inefficient loan because it's a high minimum monthly payment in regards or relative to what you're getting. Okay, so this could be, I don't know, 10,000, and you're actually paying like 1,300 a month for that $10,000 loan or that line of credit. It's going to be inefficient. Okay, below that 50 mark. All right, now we want you to get out of that loan as soon as possible. And that's why you're going to be deploying tactics such as that $500 going towards the principal. Perhaps you need to, perhaps you're actually between 51 and 99, and you have to employ a refinancing. You have to let them know, hey, could I lower my interest rate to increase that cash flow? You can do things like that when you're in the caution zone. But when you're in the danger zone, your focus is on making sure you eliminate that loan as fast as possible. And that's why velocity banking is here. All right. So we want to make sure that you know about that. We want to make sure that you know about interest transfer. Remember, when you're doing velocity banking, you're not only doing a debt transfer, not only an interest transfer, but you're also doing a time collapse transaction. Yeah, a time collapse transaction. And so what that's doing is it's turning that interest into principal. Kind of like more metamorphosis, but it's metamorphic interest. Metamorphic interest is what it is. So you're changing the interest from principal so that you can pay that off very quickly. And that's what you're doing. So in terms of loan prioritization, yes, of course, you can employ debt avalanche. Yes, you can employ the debt snowball. Remember, when you add them with velocity banking, you get a debt blizzard, paying off your debts much faster than you ever could have before. And that's what people are recognizing actually all around the world. They're changing the way they're doing banking. They now got a hold of velocity banking. So if you look at this, you'd also recognize that, well, hey, I've got lines of credit. Can I use lines of credit to pay off my loans? And the answer is absolutely. Be mindful of your cash flow, though, because when you're using your lines of credit to pay off your loans, right, all of your debts, be mindful of this formula right here, okay? Cash flow, okay, is the denominator here. And then you're going to look at your line balance. So remember, we said loan balance on the CFI. Here we're saying line balance, okay? And you're going to divide that by the cash flow. That's going to equal your velocity turn, or how long it's going to take for you to replenish your line balance. So let's say it's $10,000. 10,000, you've got a cash flow of $2,000. 10,000 divided by 2,000, it's going to be 5. Okay, you've got 5 months to replenish that $10,000 again. Then you're going to deploy that $10,000, let's say, towards the $40,000. You're just going to be hammering away at that $40,000 on a continual basis. And next thing you know, you're out of that $40,000 very quickly. However, we just stuck with the 500. Now, what does this look like, right? You've paid on $40,000 with $500 each and every month, but what does it look like? All right, let me share with you what that looks like. Now, this is the part where you can exhale, because if you're doing the traditional banking way, the way they want you to do it, you'd be paying an interest $16,304, and of course, you'd be out in 6 years, but you're also out $16,304. Whereas in the velocity banking section, you only paid $8,185. And oh, by the way, you're only in that loan, not for 6 years, not even for 5 years, but you're in it for 3.3 years, which means velocity banking saved you $8,000. And all you did was look at how you did your finances and say, I'm not gonna trust these guys anymore. I'm actually gonna do my own numbers. I'm gonna share with Velocity Channel what my problem is. then I'm going to get some help. All right? You know, the first step to help is admitting that you need help. And when you are saving $8,000 effortlessly like that, utilizing your money, making it work for you, there's all kinds of things you can do with it. But most of all, there's all kinds of things you can do with this. What can you do with an extra $782 each month, not in 6 years, in 3.3? Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, we've got Velocity Banking Hours. Can't wait to get on with you. God bless you. We'll see you in another video.